Hi everyone. Hey, we're coming to the thought for the day once again. But before I do that, I want to talk to you about 6-12-6. In fact, at 6 a.m. in the morning, we're going to be praying for the sick. And then at 12 noon, we're going to be praying for the medical staff. And then at 6 p.m., we're going to be praying for the leaders in government, leaders in the church, and leaders in general. And what I want you to do is at 5:45 a.m. you're going to get a broadcast message on your phone calling you to pray for all these different needs. And each day at 5:45, would you wake up and pray at 6, at 12, and then at 6 p.m. in the evening. And we're going to be doing this 6-12-6 until the COVID crisis is over. And I thought, what a wonderful way for us to respond as a church and come together and to pray and ask God to eradicate the COVID-19 virus. So as we get into the thought for the day today, I'd like to take your attention to Paul's letter in 1 Thessalonians chapter 4, and I'm going on from verse 10. Now, what I have to tell you is this: Paul talks about theology. And he always does this with every book that he writes. He first talks about theology, the study of God. And then from there, he gets into the very practical aspects of living the Christian life. And this is where we get into the very practical aspects. And this is where he says, and in fact, I'm calling you to love people, to love each other. And then he goes on to say to love each other more and more, because the Thessalonian church was loving people. They were loving people all over, even up to Macedonia. And they were loving so many people, and he says, hey, I'm so glad to know that your love and your faith is being known all over. But then Paul goes on to say, love more and more. Why? Because an important aspect of evangelism is love, and genuine love. If we are to reach our neighbors, our friends, our loved ones with the gospel of Jesus Christ, we need to love them genuinely. And when we love them genuinely, they will certainly be attracted to the love that Jesus has placed in our hearts and that we are shedding abroad in their lives. Then Paul goes on to something else. He said, make it your ambition to lead a quiet life. In other words, he's not saying not to be inactive, but rather what he's saying is to have a sense of peace, a reflective life in all that we do, thinking very carefully about our lives as we live them. And then he says that you should mind your own business. Wow. I just thought at the COVID-19, there are so many people sending forwards that are actually not factual. And then the government from other Derana has to come and say what is being said is not factual, and please do not pass these forwards on. I think we as Christians can be responsible and not send these, and then we can mind our own business where that is concerned. And then he says, work with your hands. You know why he says this to the Thessalonians? Because they were so taken up with the second coming of Christ that some of them were not even working. And what we need to do is to be working. And what we need to do at the COVID-19 is some of us might have even lost our jobs. And I want to tell you this, would you think of creative ways of making money? Because God can lead you, He can give you the power to make money, and He can creatively give you ideas on how to maybe start a new business, a startup business, or whatever it is. So not only working with our hands, but also working with our minds and working very creatively. And just as we told you, so that your daily life may win the respect of outsiders. Church, that is what we need to do. Our daily lives should attract other people and win the respect of other people, that they will be so taken up with the lives that we are living, because our lives are attractive to everybody around us, so that you will not be dependent on anybody. And that's also an important thing, that we won't be dependent on people, but rather that we will work hard. Our dependency must be on the Lord, and may our lives be attractive, may it be an aroma, may it be a beautiful aroma to the people around us, and may they say, wow, what's that smell? Oh, it's those Christians living that godly life. Let that aroma spill over to everyone around you. Hey, God bless you. We love you and looking forward to seeing you back again in church one day.